Okay, questions for Taz Sherman. We'll open it up with Greg Hunter.
So Taz, Coach Huggins has said in the last couple of weeks you hadn't been 100% after COVID. Today, it looked like you were closer to that. Were you? How down were you the last couple of weeks, and how much better were you today?
Well, I'm starting to get my wind back. You know, just going, being in the gym and practicing. You know, I was getting my wind back. But you know, it was mainly just dealing with the every day-to-day injury that we all go through as athletes. You know, the little nicks that we have. You know, my ankle I'm still recovering from that still. So yeah, we all deal with a little something. So yeah, I'm starting to feel comfortable again.
So closer to 100% than you've been since before Texas?
Yeah, I feel good. You know, again, like it's just the little things that we go through as athletes. That's kind of like, okay, I'm a little hurt, a little banged up, but again, we all go through that. But yeah, I'm feeling close to 100% than I did at Texas. Yeah, well, not at Texas, but since then.
Questions for Taz, please use the raise hand feature. Taz, our next question comes from Justin Jackson.
Hey, Taz, I know obviously you can't comment on refs specifically, well, obviously without getting in trouble, but I'm just wondering, the way this game was called in general, was this called differently than what you guys have experienced in the Big 12 this season?
You know, it's on us. We can't put blame on anybody but us. You know, we can control what we can control. Anything that's out of our control, you know, we just can't worry about. So we gave up a lot of offensive rebounds. We fouled a lot. We had our bigs in foul trouble. I think we had 3 or 4 people foul out. So it's on us more than anything. We can't blame anybody. You know, we got to control what we can control.
And then one follow-up question. I'm just kind of wondering, the last few minutes of the second half, 7 minutes in, seemed like there might have been some defensive miscommunications. Were there like missing on some switches and things like that? And was it surprising at all with you guys on defense?
We're sitting in this 1-2-2 zone that we've been working on lately. So it was kind of not new, but we really haven't implemented it in the game yet. So we was trying something because we knew there was better drivers than they were shooters. So we was just trying to try something new. It worked. It worked to an extent, but yeah, with the second chance points, the not talking on switches, not communicating sometimes, that hurt us a little bit in that zone.
Okay, thank you, Taz.
Bob Hertzel.
Yeah, Taz, again, I don't want to get on the officials in any way, shape, or form, but when you have 50 fouls called in a game, how does that affect the flow of the game and your ability to stay in the game mentally and physically, I guess?
Well, we just gotta play through it. You know, we're on the Power 5 Division I level, so we just gotta play through all the touchy fouls and all the stuff, now calls. We gotta play through all that. You know, it's hard as a player sometimes, but you know, you still just gotta again control what you can control. Just play through it. You know, contact is gonna happen. It's a contact game. You know, it's fully physical, especially when in a conference game like this with 2 teams who are known for having this stigma about their team. You know, we're a defensive team. They're a defensive team, as Coach says, and you know, it was gonna be a hard-fought battle. So you know, you can't really get on that too much.
Thank you.
Kevin Kinder.
As turnovers obviously a big part of this game also, are you trying to create a little bit more? Obviously, that's something that you've been able to do more this year, coming off the way you've been driving it and attacking. But is that something that's still kind of a work in progress for you? Is, you know, making that a more natural part of your game?
Not really. Since I played point guard. I know it's a different level, but in junior college, you know, so I got comfortable with the ball. You know, I'm still gaining weight back. So me being strong and fighting through contact is still a work in progress. So when I pass the ball, you know, I might get hit in the arm, something like that, or I might jump stop, get hit on the arm. They, you know, take the ball. You know, I just gotta be stronger with it at the end of the day. So I'm regaining my strength and regaining my weight back. So I'm fully comfortable with having the ball in my hands, but I will also like to play off the ball a lot, get easy open shots to where I don't have to create. But when I do have to create, I will look to.
Greg Hunter.
Taz, you mentioned rebounding a little bit earlier. Obviously, that's sort of been an issue all year. How big of a problem was it today? And any way to try to get that better as you guys go through the second half of the season?
Well, Hugs and Coach Martin been working on all the bigs. Even though it's not on all the bigs. Let me just say that first. Us guards, us wings, we have to help the bigs rebound because again, we don't have like a Derek Culver, Oscar Sheboy anymore. So we have to find ways to team rebound. I think Hugs and Coach Martin been doing a good job at teaching the bigs certain things, telling them to get opposite on the offensive end and on defensive end. Just hit your guy, box him out, and all the guards will come running in, trying to get all the little straggler rebounds, and we'll do the rest. But I think they've been doing a good job. Just sometimes out of the ball don't bounce your way. And we was in the zone. It's kind of hard to rebound and find people in the zone to box out. So that was the thing.
Back to Bob Hertzel.
Yeah, Taz, about the turnovers. Today was a tough day on you. Did that say more about their defense? I mean, they're obviously one of the two best defensive teams in the conference. So what did that say about their defense? And can you explain off some of the turnovers you had?
Well, they're a physical team. They know how to get away with stuff, on the slide side, but now they're long offense, like they can get hands in passing lanes, they can disrupt the ball. They start 6'6" and up guys and they're starting 5. So I think that was like the main focus on their team this year was to be a defensive oriented team, have our scores and stuff come off the bench, have like 1 or 2 scores in the game, but at the end of the day, they're a defensive team. I think their length, their wingspan kind of bothered us a little bit, but again, I got to get stronger with the ball since I'm regaining strength back and all that. So, that's on me. I just got to stay strong with the ball.
Cameron Gandy.
Yeah, Taz, last time you guys traveled to Texas, you weren't able to play. This time when you guys went down, was there any added emotion coming back to your home state? And did that change the approach at all, regardless of the outcome?
Well, I pretty much live on the other side of Texas, so this is about 8 hours for me. So this wasn't really a homecoming, but I always like playing in Texas. Played here a couple times in Lubbock against South Plains during college a couple times. So I was familiar with the area, but I didn't really have nobody out here. It's just super far away from anybody I know. So I always like playing in Texas though, because it's just, I'm still going back to my home state, even though it's not nowhere near where I'm from. So it was good.
Mike Kazaza.
Hey, Taz, I know it's probably really, really early to talk about NCAA tournament stuff, but you guys do talk and think about it a lot. And I just wonder with the conference and the schedule, how tricky those conversations are, knowing all these opponents are stacked up and, you may have a day like today, but, Wednesday and next Saturday and the week after that, there's just as many opportunities to get it back. Is it kind of hard to focus on the big picture or even the little picture?
Well, we want to focus on the big picture kind of later on down the road. Well, for me, I can only speak for myself. So I'm more of a day-to-day, like game-to-game type of person. I don't want to look too far ahead. You got to look at the obstacle and the task in front of you at the moment. And once you battle that, then you go on to the next one, and so on. Then when the time comes to where it's okay, we only have like 3-4 more games left. We need to take care of this team. This team needs to lose so we can be here, and then start worrying about the net record and all that. But for me personally, I'm a game-to-game type person. I focus on one team at a time, so I don't overstep.
Is there any challenge in the fact that it's kind of unrelenting? There is no break or relief or day off.
Well, being in this conference, you already know. I've been here 3 years, so I already kind of know what we're expecting. We're gonna play 2 games a week. Some of them is gonna be early, some of them is gonna be late. As a basketball player, you just gotta adapt. We all played AAU, and you might have a 6 a.m. tip off, 7 a.m. tip off in AAU, and you just got to deal with it. It might not be the same level of competition, but you still just got to bring that same energy, enthusiasm. You got to get yourself ready for certain type of games. So yeah, it's a little difficult. The schedule is a little difficult, especially for us. The travel, it's a little difficult too, but we just got to find ways to fight through it.
Justin Jackson.
Taz, I guess my question is a little bit similar. I'm just kind of wondering, 3 games, 3 or 2 against top 10 teams, obviously 1 against another top 20 team today. how critical of a juncture is this now for this team? What's the message for the team moving forward after this the 3 games?
Well, from my opinion is we really haven't beat a team that is worth beating, you know. Like we played good teams, good mid-majors. We played a good Kansas State team, in my opinion. I think they're good. But we haven't had that team that we beat to where it's like, okay, West Virginia beat them. Lost to Kansas, lost to Baylor, lost here, and lost to Texas. You know, we didn't have me and Gabe and Kobe, but
Right.
those are the top 4 teams people say is in the top of the conference. So if we want to be one of those top teams, we have to beat one of those top teams, and we'll see them all again. You know, we'll see them all around one more time before the conference tournament. So we'll see everybody, and then we just got to capitalize. We got to beat the good team so we can say we're a good team.
Our final question to Taz goes to Ryan Pritt.
Hey Taz, I know you're a guy that likes to get your teammates involved, and that was obviously a point of emphasis for you early in the year. You guys are averaging 7 assists over your last 3 games. What are your thoughts kind of your ball movement? And is that something that really concerns you offensively right now?
Well, I feel like we gotta get into our offense a little better. We gotta make sure everybody knows the offense. You know, it's been a little hectic because, you know, when you go into conference play, you know, teams scout just as much as you. So as much as we scout other teams scout us just the same. So you already know, take away 2 players, let everybody else figure it out, you know, but we have to be a team that adapts to that. So we just can't have me and Sean just dribble, or Malik, Key, JB just dribble at the top of the key and no ball movements going on, you know. All eyes will be on the person dribbling the ball. So I feel like we gotta do better. We gotta get better movement on the court. We gotta pass the ball better. We gotta get in the sets better.
Hey, Taz, thank you for your time.
No problem.
Michael.
Coach Bob Huggins joins us now. Questions for Coach Huggins. We'll start with Hunter.
So Bob, you've talked a lot about rebounding and turnovers all season, and you guys' problems there. That the biggest problem again tonight or this afternoon, would you say?
Yeah, we didn't. When they made their run, we just give people way too many shots. And we didn't make. We scored it better around the goal. We spent 2 days trying to work at it and make sure we could score around the goal. We scored it around the goal a little bit, but you gotta want to do it. You gotta care. And we've got some guys do it that do that, and we've got some guys that, if they're doing it, it's disguised very well. How's that?
Justin Jackson.
Hey, Coach, kind of what you were saying there about them getting some shots. How much of that is miscommunications, like on switching or not switching? It seemed like there were maybe a couple of miscommunications in the second half at the wrong times.
Well, Justin, this is not a very good perimeter shooting club. And so as I watched their games, they scored a ball in the paint.
Right.
And so I thought that if we played that 1-2-2 zone and we kind of packed it, didn't get it spread out too much, that it would be good. And it was good. It was good. And I don't know how hard is it to bump? I mean, so my guys, let's say back cuts, I take him to the next guy and give it to him and say, take him, Justin, and pop back out and get a guy. How hard is that?
Right.
I've never had, and we've done that before, and I've never had guys think that was hard to do.
Questions for Coach Huggins, please raise your hand. Greg Carey.
Yeah, Bob, you're obviously playing a lot of very good defensive teams, but does it feel still like a lot of these turnovers that you're having are unforced and maybe, largely avoidable?
Without a question. Without a question, a lot of them are unforced. And now that you brought it up, we didn't run what we practiced we were going to run. And I went over it 2 days in practice. We went over it before the game. We went over it at every timeout, and they still never ran what I asked them to run.
Bob Hertzel.
Yeah, Bob, in trying to get that to happen and trying to get into the swing of things and the flow of a game, how difficult is it when it's 50 whistles that are blown? I'm not talking about the quality of the officiating or anything, but it started, when it started, you had 5 fouls 5 minutes into the game. It started from the first and ended at the last whistle. What does that do to the flow of the game and the way you try to play, especially with two teams that like to play defense?
Well, any stoppage in play is going to destroy rhythm. I mean, any stoppage in play, whether somebody threw something on the floor or guy got hurt, or it's stoppages in place doesn't lead to continuity.
Justin Jackson.
Hey, Coach, you've mentioned earlier this year too, a few other times earlier this year that this team has not done very well at running offense. We're almost at the end of January now. I don't know if there's anything you can put your finger on there or not, but why has that been the case where this team, just hasn't been able to kind of run what you're drawing up?
Probably truth be known, Justin, I've given them too much rope. I've let them screw up. Tried to calmly try to fix it, I mean, the reality of it is, it's like anything else that, any other line of work that anybody would ever be in. If you continue not to do what you're asked to do, you're probably asked to leave.
Right.
And I haven't done that.
Mike Casaza.
Hey, Bob, this might be similar, but I was wondering if we could rewind for a second. You said that kind of you weren't running what you had talked about running before the game, in practice, during the game. I'm just curious if I can get some detail on that. Is it calling plays and they're ignoring it or abandoning it or forgetting it? What's going on there?
You just don't run it, Mike. I don't know how to say it any different than that. They just don't run what they're asked to run. I mean, we draw it up on a clipboard. We practice it in practice.
So you're saying you send the instruction, they get it, and then it kind of short circuits from there. They're just not going through the execution.
No, I didn't say it's short circuited. I don't know why it doesn't happen.
Okay.
Back to Greg Hunter.
So Taz, your leading scorer, I'm sorry, Bob, your leading scorers in Taz and Sean. Taz has a good game, Sean does not. Did they defend Sean really well? And what'd you think of Taz's performance?
Yeah, I mean, that's gonna happen the rest of the year. We put a, not really a set, more of a motion kind of thing where we did a lot of screening for those two guys. Or that, no, I take that back. We were supposed to have a lot of screening for those guys. Didn't happen.
What'd you think of Taz? He had his best night since he had COVID.
I think he forced a lot of things. I mean, he carried us, but I think in doing that, he forced some things that I'm not used to seeing him do.
Any further questions for Coach Huggins? Coach, I believe we have one more from Justin Jackson. This will be our final question.
Hey, Coach, it seemed like, these last three games, obviously two are against top 10 teams, another one against the top 20 team today, a couple of them on the road. How critical of a juncture is this? What was the message after the game, and what needs to be the message moving forward to, get away from obviously what's a tough spot right now?
The message basically was, we're going to run, you're going to run what I tell you to run and what we practice, or you're going to come over and sit on the bench and watch.
Short and sweet.
What else is there?
Right.
Okay, Coach Huggins, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Members of the media, that concludes our session for today. Thank you.